Interested in getting more out of your smart home automation than your hub can provide? Today we're going to look at Stringify, which is one powerful option that will take your robots and routines to a whole new level. Stay tuned. Hi again, John Stone, the DIY Smart Home Guy, here to talk about an app that'll put your home automation on steroids. Since I'm hanging out on our farm in Thailand, I haven't gotten around to making it a smart home yet. I needed something to talk about that doesn't require me to be in our US home, so Stringify it is. As always, there are links to related videos and affiliate links to all products discussed in this video in the description below. Say hi to Jeff. Hi Jeff. For those of you that aren't familiar with Stringify, it's a cloud-based logic system that has the capability to connect other cloud-aware smart devices and services like the Amazon Echo, Wink Hub, SmartThings, IFTTT, and many others. You can use these connections to create advanced logic flows that can respond to triggers and make more things happen. At the time I recorded this video, Stringify is only available for iOS and Android devices. In the Android world, it's only available for newer releases, so you may have to do a little research to make sure it's compatible with your device. Just like any other app, you'll need to create an account with Stringify to get up and running. Now, it's important to understand that Stringify is a cloud service. This means that if your internet goes down, anything you've left up to Stringify won't work during that period of time. For those of you that are a bit unsure of how cloud services work, let's walk through a simple example. We'll start with an Echo Dot and a Wink Hub in our little house. Anytime you give an instruction to Alexa, she takes that request up to the Amazon servers. If the command was related to your smart home, Amazon sends the instruction set over to the Wink servers, which is still out there in the cloud. The Wink service takes that command and sends it down to the Wink Hub inside your home, which in turn sends the command over to the light, and voila, the light turns on. If you already have an Echo, you'll probably already have noticed that when the internet is down, Alexa's pretty useless. Well, Stringify operates in the exact same principles. Stringify sits out on a server, and when it fires one of its flows, it will send that information over to the Wink Hub. The other thing that's happening is Wink is sending information over to Stringify. If Stringify detects an event that's contained in a flow, it starts the process all over again. And since you can connect Stringify to your Amazon Alexa, you give voice commands to the Echo, which in turn fires Stringify flows, which does even more cool stuff. Now, Stringify isn't limited to the Amazon Echo and smart home hubs. It connects to a whole host of cloud services, including IFTTT, and if you're wondering if you can do the same things with IFTTT, the answer is no. IFTTT is limited to a single trigger and responding action. Triggers and actions are basically if this, then that type of commands, where in essence you are stating if some cloud service does this, then tell that other cloud service to do that. In our example, the this is called a trigger and the that is called an action. What Stringify allows you to do is add conditions and constraints. This means that you can add in and or constraints to your flows for a more powerful experience. With this feature you can say do this thing if and only if this other thing is true. Let's look at an example. From the list of Stringify services, we're going to use time of day, doorbell motion, and a light. And using our Stringify flow, we'll use this to say that there's doorbell motion or it's nighttime. If these are true, it'll turn on the light. In this example, both of these triggers are meaning that if the other thing happens, doorbell motion or nighttime is detected, we'll do this one thing. But that's really not that useful. I only want to turn on my light when the doorbell detects motion at night. So to accomplish this, we'll modify this flow. I'll give an example later of how to create this in the app, but for now, I just want to let you know that it's possible. By joining these two connections, I have the ability to make one thing a trigger, which is the doorbell detected motion, and the other thing is turned into a constraint. Do this thing, and if it's nighttime. If that's true, then the doorbell motion will turn on the light. I can also add in additional constraints, like here, I only want the entry light to turn on if the hall light is turned off. So that's pretty powerful. Now let's get into the app and make this flow. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go over to the things. So in the things, you're going to want to make sure that you have your hub. I have my Wink in there. Once you authenticate into your hub, it's going to bring in all the hub exposed devices like I have here. Now date and time should already be there. That'll get us going. So let's come back over to our flows. And you can see that I have quite a few flows in there already, but let's just go ahead and create a new one. So we'll click on that create button in the upper right hand corner. There's a little bit of an explanation here about what a flow is. Now, first thing, you can do two things here. One is if you click on that little plus sign down at the bottom, we'll get all the things that are exposed in our Stringify app. Okay, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to select the things that I want to add to this. The first one is going to be my front doorbell. I'm going to come down. I'm also going to select my upstairs hall light. And then I'm going to want my stairs light. And I want to bring in also my date and time. Now you'll see around you have a bunch of little circles here, and those are where we're going to place everything. So for this, we're going to press and hold. I'm going to grab that doorbell. I'm going to drop it in there. And as I said, I want a little date and time on there. And then I'm going to grab my stairs light, and we're going to put that in here. So just for fun, I'm going to move that doorbell up to here. All right, so you'll see the little gears here, and what that indicates is that we have to configure these items. So by pressing that, we're going to say my trigger. Remember, that is when this happens. This is my if, and my if is going to be when motion is detected. That's going to fire a trigger, and I'm going to set a date and time. If it's nighttime, save that. And what I want this to do is I want to action, so come off of triggers and go to actions, and that action will be turn on. And I'm going to save that. We said we wanted to make this an or. That means if my doorbell rings or it's nighttime. So if you just swipe across gently, I'm just going to swipe across here on this, and it's going to, that little yellow ball is going to follow me down there to that stairs light, and then I'm going to do that little yellow ball, or I'm sorry, I'm going to do the date and time over there to the stairs light also. So what that means is if I have motion at my doorbell or I have a date and time that is nighttime, it'll turn the stairs light on. And that's it. All we would have to do now is enable this flow. But as I said, I want to make this an and. So to delete the date and time, let's just go back and delete. We're going to remove that. Okay, now to make an and, I don't have to go over and add those devices in. I can grab that little yellow chain and I can just drag that down to a circle. I can come grab my date and time, and you'll see that it is connected the date and time with the doorbell before the chain. That's what turns this into an and. We'll do the same configuration. We're going to come down and say only if it's nighttime, and we'll save that. So what we've effectively done here is said, now if I have motion at the front doorbell and it's nighttime, turn that light on. Again, I could enable that flow, and that's just what's going to happen. Now I also said we could add in another thing, so let's grab that same yellow chain, and I'm just going to gently drag that over to that open spot. And this is where I'm going to go down to my upstairs hall, and I'm going to say, again, on the trigger side, only if that upstairs hall is off. And remember, what we've done is we set up a series of ands. So it's if there's doorbell motion and the upstairs hall light is off and it's nighttime, then turn that stairs light on. Pretty cool. With a little bit of imagination, I think you'll start to see some pretty powerful ways to use Stringify. My recommendation is to write out what you're trying to achieve on a piece of paper first. Do something like this where I spelled out what I'm doing with words. This will make it a little bit easier when you're trying to create the flow in Stringify. One thing I didn't like is that it's not very easy to just look at your triggers and conditions to see what the settings are, but it doesn't bother me enough to stop using it. In the future, I plan to make more advanced flows. I'll put links to these videos in the description below once they're released. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to click like. Over here are a couple of other videos that you might enjoy. For more reviews, tips, and DIY videos, visit azhb.com. And thanks to all of you that already follow me over on Facebook or Twitter. Both are at DIY Smart Home Guy. Until next time, cheers.